Let's do a quick video on assist feeding in corn snakes. What you need is a baby snake that's not fed in 3 or 4 weeks. Quite thin, quite small as expected, very fast. Hold it by the back of the neck. Generally upside down so you can see the mouth. Take a pinky, not frozen of course, not live. Push it in there, and what you want is this to start wiggling its jaw like that, and then this trick is to slowly release and hope that the snake doesn't. Now this is not always successful. This is the first time this one's ever been tried. Now as long as that doesn't drop that, in the next, oh, like that, I gave it a fright and moved it. That proves the point. What you want to do is back off as slow as possible if that happens. And probably best to stop with this one and try another, or try another night, but let's try that again, as it looked as it was going to be fine. So this is all good signs as long as you don't move fast or make a fright. And I want it's wrapped around my fingers, but you can see that neck movement left to right. As long as this snake doesn't change its mind, that pinky will go down. Assist feeding's 50 times easier than force feeding. It gives the snake all the correct movements without the stress. I'm sure it triggers off other stomach and enzymes and things like that coming down without you having to physically force or pump food into its stomach. This snake has never ate before, it's 3 weeks old. I find albino snakes generally are easier for some reason. Maybe they're less able to see the fingers or whatever, but it's a waiting game now. That could take 5 minutes to get that down. It is its first meal, it's pretty thin. The pinkies are always a bit bigger than you would want, but it will manage that. I'll maybe pause the video there and we'll come back to it in a few minutes. So the snake's still holding on, still got the head in its mouth. This is all very good signs. It's just all about patience now and not moving too fast. Not the most exciting video, but hopefully clear enough, show you what to do, what you need to do to get your non-feeding snake feeding. The reasons why they feed could be anything: wrong husbandry, wrong triggers, wrong taste, fussy snakes. But when you've got 3/4 of a clutch that feed problem free and you've got a few that don't, then it's usually you could rule out husbandry, but there is always wee improvements you could make, feed at different times, all that kind of thing. But there's plenty that just don't feed, and your option is do nothing or do something, and this is a good in-between way to get them feeding. I've had great success in rearing snakes like this to adulthood. Usually you force feed them, sorry, I should say assist feed them a wee bit like this. And if they take that, they get used to it very quickly, and then they actually they won't feed unless you're holding them and pushing something towards their nose. That doesn't last forever, of course, but it's a good way to save a wee baby snake. I'll move this out of the way as slow as I possibly can. And what I might do is, I feel this one's got enough of that pinky in its mouth, that I'll proceed with another one. So this one here hasn't fed, what's that, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I could wait longer. I feel there's a point of no return with force feeding. If you wait 6-7 weeks, depending on the size of the snake, they've just not got enough energy to digest the pinkies, and they end up, you'll force feed them, they'll be dead the next day with green stomachs. So again, hold at the back of the neck so it can't move. Take the pinky, kind of hold them upside down, so into the side of the mouth. Sometimes you have to turn around and go into the other side, but what you want them to do is you want them to do the movement. Don't just shove it in the back of the throat. Twisting sometimes help. There we go. Is it going to? Yep, kind of doing this. I'm not. This one's a bit resisting, but let's find out. He wants to. That's more get it spit out behaviour, so just give it as much time as possible. Now the weight of the pinky might come out. Let's just put this wee guy down. Let him come off your fingers if possible. He looks like he's trying to get rid of that, but he might change his mind. Their teeth are hooked, so if you get a good sized one, if it's slightly bigger, they have a trouble getting it out their mouth, and they change their mind, and their instincts to start swallowing takes over. And I think this one looks successful as well. I'm not going to push my luck and do another. I've got 10 wee ones here that haven't fed, and they're all between 3 and 5 weeks. But I don't even worry. I had some last night that fed, 1 or 2 in the last week that had never fed before. Again, some will take. It's just a trial and error thing. So I kind of want to move the camera a wee bit to see the one at the back, but without upsetting this one at the front too much. There we go. Now this makes it look easy. It's a technique, and the only skilled bit is holding the snake by the neck, not enough that it wants to wriggle free and bite you, and do everything it possibly can to escape, but enough that you can just get the mouse at the side of the mouth, at the front of the mouth, and you want the snake to bite onto that mouse. You don't want to force the mouse into the snake. I don't find wet pinkies make this easier. I don't find smaller ones make it easier. Sometimes if they're a wee bit sweaty, like they've been sitting about for a few hours, I think it helps a little as it kind of sticks to the snake's mouth. It makes them less likely, or makes them taste better or something like that. But there's a wee striped male that's now, not saying it's feeding, but it's got the energy in there. The enzymes will start flowing in its stomach, the poo will start coming out, it will start getting hunger pains, and it will be ready to hopefully feed itself the next time a pinky's presented. I won't try it again in 2 or 3 days time. I'll probably give it a week, maybe 10 days, just enough time for that to totally complete its digestion, and to build up a wee bit of hunger. The fat reserves it gets from this will be fantastic. It will definitely buy it another 4 weeks, and that you won't have to assist feed or force feed. So it's always a relief when this works. And without making the video last too long, I think that's all we need to cover. These will go down. They might spit in the mouth if I was to suddenly try and grab them, which I won't. So thank you for watching. This is assist feeding corn snakes.